massive night for Michael Beale. Can his side deliver at Servette against Rangers in Champions League qualifying? Live from Geneva with Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Thanks, Kenny. The Swiss city of Geneva, close to the French border, and this fabulous Stade de Genève, which is quite the spectacle out in front of us here. All the Servette fans are holding up placards. Forms a banner right across the home sections. And the tifo off to the left with the pyrotechnics going off to greet the players. Rangers, of course, with a 2-1 lead, a wafer-thin advantage to take into this one. But it really is an incredible scene. The city surrounded by mountains, and if you look directly opposite from where we are, you can see the tops of the Alps over there, Mont Blanc over in that vicinity as well. It is an incredible scene. And what can Rangers make of this one tonight? They don't need to score. A goalless draw takes them through to the playoff, and I will keep you up to date with what's happening in Austria, where PSV have taken a 4-1 lead to Sturm Graz. And the winner of that was the winner of this. Rangers line up tonight with Jack Butland in goal, a back four of Tavernier, Goldson, Suter and Barisic, Cifuentes, Raskan and Jack across the middle, Cantwell and Sima either side of Danilo. Servette, couple of changes from Ibrox last week. Dooley in the midfielder suspended after his red card. He obviously gave away the penalty as well early on in that game, which Tavernier dispatched. Joel Mal, the Cyprus international goalkeeper, between the sticks. Ruyos, Rouillet, Severin, Mazikou across the back. Guimeno, Cognac, Ondua and Kutesa across the middle. Crivelli returns from suspension. He was sent off against Genk in Belgium in the second leg. Adversity that Servette came through on that occasion as well. Knee partners. Chris Bedia, who's on fire early in the season. 6 goals in his 7 appearances, including the penalty conversion at Ibrox last week that has given them an almighty chance of overturning the deficit. Just about ready to go. The two captains down below us are exchanging pennants. Steve Rouillet of Servette. He's been at the club for a while now. Well over 160 appearances for the club, so he knows what it's all about here. And James Tavernier. And he will now go have one last word with his teammates ahead of kickoff. Maurizio Mariani is the referee. 41-year-old from Italy. Did that Scotland win over Ukraine at Hampden last year in the Nations League. This is the first time he's taken charge of a Scottish club side though. This is the 3rd qualifying round for a place in the UEFA Champions League. The last season before they refurbish the tournament. No more group stage from next season. It's going to be a league phase instead. Controversial setup, it has to be said. The Servette players go into a huddle. They've just broken out of that now. In fact, Rangers are going to kick the game off wearing their change colours, all white with blue flashes. Servette in the dark red, almost wine-coloured jerseys, blue shorts, and the dark red socks. And they'll go left to right. Rangers defending the goal where their supporters are, just behind, off to the right, where we sit at the top of the main stand here, high above the Rangers dugout. And Todd Cantwell's going to have the first touch of the ball here as soon as the referee signals it's time to get underway. A couple of minutes late though. It's meant to be a 7:30 UK time kickoff. The referee just having one last look at his watch. He blows the first whistle and the second leg's underway with Rangers leading 2-1 on that aggregate scoreline. Can they go through to the playoff? And a possible and probable date with PSV Eindhoven, who they beat in the playoffs to reach the groups for the first time in 12 years last season. A bit of smoke billowing across the stadium as well, just adding to the atmosphere as it's headed out, and Rangers have got some early possession in the final third, and that's exactly what they'll be looking to continue to do today.
Yeah, they will, Liam. Keep the ball high up the pitch. Michael Beale said he wanted his team to go and score goals. He feels as though he's got the team capable of going and doing that, and it would certainly make it a lot easier if they were to get an early goal.
Here comes Servette though, first feel of the ball, having won it back over on the far side. They've switched the play out to this near side. Guimeno with the long ball, dink forward, looking to try and get Bedia involved. Suter read it well though. and he gets it clear to Cantwell. Now it's with Barisic, skips away from his man on this near side, and into the Servette half goes Raskan, but it bounced off his hand, says the referee, and Servette will have a free kick right at the centre circle inside their own half.
It was a lovely wee flick to him from Cantwell. I think he was unlucky, it just seemed to kind of roll up onto his chest almost. Rangers were going to be on the break.
Michael Beale dropping Sam Lammers. Cyril Dessart was dropped as well today, and there's a loose ball out of defence by the skipper Rouillet, and that's out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side, right in front of the Servette technical area. And Barisic will take. Raskan's a short option. Danilo comes towards him as well. Still he holds on to the ball, looking for a better option. Here he goes bowling it for Raskan, who slips on the turf, and eventually just bobbles behind for the goal kick. Goalless in the opening couple of minutes here in Geneva.
Yeah, it's so important for Rangers to make sure this opening 20 minutes that they just put out fires and keep Servette at bay, really. I mean, it's restrict them if you can. The atmosphere is incredible, as we've already said. Servette will be right up for this, but if Rangers can get an early touch of the ball, get some good possession, like they have done in the opening couple of minutes, and just keep Servette at bay, then that's the perfect game plan for them.
Rangers have only won one of their last 9 European away games from Ibrox, including the Europa League final, strictly speaking on neutral territory. That win was in Eindhoven. They lost the other 8 against Red Star, Braga, Leipzig, Frankfurt and Seville, San Gilloas, Ajax, Napoli and Liverpool. As Rangers come forward, it's a ball into the penalty area, round about the 18-yard line. It breaks to Raskan's come off the defender last, I think, has it? Yep, corner to Rangers, first of the match, and it's for the visitors.
Yeah, they built the play well out to the right-hand side. Sima fired it all the way across the box, and just as Raskin was hoping to take a touch, the defender got there ahead of him. But an early corner for Rangers. This will be a perfect time to score. Let's try and silence this crowd, which is going to take some doing.
James Tavernier to take the corner, off to our left, on the Rangers' left as they attack the goal to the left. In front of that wall of Servette Ultras behind Joe Miles' goal. Tavernier's corner, and it comes towards the 6-yard area. It's only half away. Cifuentes doesn't really catch it that well. Still bobbling around the 6-yard box, and it's cleared. Kind of scuffed and slashed at his effort there, Jose Cifuentes, as he keeps it in play over on that right-hand side. Support from Sima. It's the feet of Abdallah Sima now. Turns it back onto the touchline for Cifuentes, level with the Servette 18. Now it's Cantwell getting it from Jack, out wide right. Sima again, takes on his man, then slips, can't get past Cognac, and it's popped out for a throw-in over on the far side by Bradley Maziku, the Congolese left back.
That was a chance, you know, for Cifuentes. He really just tried to hammer it, a wee bit more composure. Could have had a shot on target. Rangers having some good pressure in this opening 4 or 5 minutes, Liam. It's been a strong start from them, but yeah, that was a decent opportunity. It just bounces up. He's got to show more composure. Chokes it on his left foot.
Michael Beale's really excited about Cifuentes. He was desperate to get him to the club. Goldson forward to Danilo, then to Cifuentes, tried to work it back to Danilo in the box. Cifuentes has it again, right-hand side of the box, to the byline for Tavernier. First time cross, it comes in. Too high for Raskan. He's one of the smaller players on the pitch. As Barisic gets away from 2 challenges, rolls it back to Cantwell. A little chip from Cantwell comes off the defender, and it breaks down harmlessly, and Crivelli's away on the counter. There's a foul, but the referee's allowing the Swiss to have an advantage here. Eventually it's come back into their own half though, and it's lumped forward by Vuilloz up towards the Rangers box. Suter's there, and he nods it out to this near side for Barisic. Rolls it up the line to Cantwell. First time ball fired back into the feet of Jack, and he shifts it into the central area for Cifuentes, just outside the centre circle. Out wide right for Sima, up against Maziku, turns back the way, finds Tavernier. Now Cifuentes to Danilo. Danilo though runs into Severin, and it's Cognac with a little flick with the outside of the boot, but he couldn't work it out to Kutesa, and Rangers have it back with John Suter.
They'll be very content, Liam, playing most of the game in the Servette half. There's a good chance a couple of minutes ago there just for Barisic. He cut in ever so well. I thought he should have flashed that across the face. He goes for the cutback and misplaced the pass. It was another decent opportunity for Rangers, but they'll be delighted with just how much ball they're getting just now and not having to defend. It's not what I was expecting.
Now, Michael Beale said to us in the build-up in his pre-match interview he expected Servette to come flying out of the traps. Well, that has not happened. Rangers started well. Here's Jack. Over on the right, little chip infield to Cifuentes. Out to that right-hand side, Sima taking on his man Maziku. Rolls it back the way to Cantwell. He's just inside the box, bounces back out of it, under pressure from Ondua, the new signing. And the referee's happy with the challenge, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. It stays goalless. 6.5 played.
Yeah, Cantwell was looking for the foul just as he turned towards the byline, looking to get his cross in, but I think he was just jimmed really.
Here comes Servette. Little ball played forward there by Vuyos. Got out, but it breaks Cognac's way. He's in between the two defenders, into the box, one-on-one. Great save, Butland. Cognac can't believe he's not scored. Jack Butland, with his best moment in the infancy of his Rangers career, keeps out the tricky Servette midfielder who was one-on-one with him, and it stays 0-0. It's been a bright start by Rangers, but that is a huge warning.
Chances don't come any bigger than that, Liam. It was brilliant play from Cognac, bursting through the Rangers defence. Too easy from a Rangers perspective, probably, but that is an incredible save. One-on-one with Butland. You're just thinking as he broke free of the centre halves, he's going to slot it home. It really is a huge let-off for Rangers, massive.
Yep. Really good goalkeeping by Butland. How often do we see Alan McGregor come up with the big saves on big nights like these? Butland does likewise there. Here's Cantwell up the other end, onto the chest of Tavernier. He looks up in the box, steps away, just shimmies away from his man, looks up, right foot ball comes in towards Raskan, and they flick it on out to the left-hand side of the area. The offside flag's up, and it's 0-0 here in Geneva.
Yeah, I thought he looked as though he had just strayed. He's getting forward a lot as Raskan. Normally see him playing a wee bit deeper, but with Jack sitting there, he's obviously been given the licence to get up and support Cantwell and Danilo. Made a few runs so far.
Long ball from the goalkeeper from that free kick. Barisic is clobbered to the ground by Crivelli.
He's a big boy. I was watching him in the warm-up. He's an absolute unit, Crivelli. He really is.
He's a former France under-21 international, going back a few years now. He was in the French under-21 side with the likes of Rabiot, Magnon, Coman, Tolisso. Didn't quite make the cut as far as the senior France squad is concerned, but missed the match at Ibrox through suspension last week. Long from Butland out to the far side. Sima wins the header. Danilo giving chase. He's not going to get there though, and it's shepherded behind by Johan Severin, and that will be a goal kick to Servette. Joel Mal over this one. That was another bit of adversity that they'd come through in the last round, that second leg, and that they lost their first choice goalkeeper. Was down to 10 men and 2-1 down on the night, on the hour mark for that one. So they played over an hour of football with their second choice goalkeeper, and
well, he did all right, didn't he?
They played 85 minutes of the 90 plus the stoppage time and the extra time, down to 10 men against a really good Genk team. Well, Rangers would love a goal. They'd love a goal here. Butland clears though, first time. It's going to go out for a throw-in to Servette down on this near side. And it's bowled quickly there by Vuyos. And back to Rouillet. The ball infield for Ondua. So he's the Cameroon international. And he rolls it back to his goalkeeper. So got his first start for the club in their 1-1 draw with St Gallen at the weekend. Unbeaten domestically. They started the league a couple of weeks before the Scottish leagues got underway. So Raskan flicks on onto the chest of Danilo. He's found Raskan again now. Raskan scampering down this near side. He's got Cantwell for support. He finds him. Cantwell goes down just on the line of the penalty area on the left-hand side of it. Now, if that obviously has happened inside the box, the VAR is going to be looking at it.
It's outside the box. It's outside the box. I mean, from the first in live action, I felt it was outside the box. Cantwell then carries himself into the box once the contact's made, but I think it was fairly clearly outside. It'll not take long, the VAR check. He's been booked right enough.
He has. Ondua. That's a really good move by Rangers and great play by Raskan. And then Cantwell swaggered his way towards the penalty area.
Well, I mean, it was a foul probably that Undua had to make, because at that stage Cantwell was past him. He'd cut across him really well with his first touch, and he'd been one-on-one with Joe Mal. I wonder if Tavernier will fancy this. We saw him score a couple of these in the last couple of seasons from this kind of angle at the edge of 18.
Yeah, it's the left-hand side of the penalty area.
Is it Motherwell? Is it Motherwell he scored against?
Scored a couple of times. Early in his Rangers career, he was scoring free kicks from this kind of angle. It's probably a bit level with the midway point between the 18-yard line and the penalty spot. Almost bang on the line of the box, the left-hand side of it. Servette fans trying to put him off. Tavernier hits it into the wall, and then the second attempt, when it comes back to him, he slices it out for a throw-in on the reverse side. Really disappointing from Tavernier. He was looking for the near post there. The free kicks that you're talking about, he normally fires them and arches them over to the right-hand corner. Yeah,
well, I mean, he scored one just like that last season. I can't remember who it was against, but he tries to reverse it, but he didn't get enough height on it. He's normally brilliant at his technique of getting the ball up and down in a short distance, but he never got it high enough to get the dip anyway, straight into the wall.
Rangers have been the better team, but it's Servette who have had the best chance. Remains goalless in Geneva. It's Goldson on the right-hand side, clipping the long ball forward, but asking too much of Seamat, and it goes behind for the goal kick. They're certainly dictating the play, Rangers.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Liam. I think Rangers' start to the game has been very, very good. I think Michael Beale will be delighted. We're only 12 minutes in. How different it would have been had Cognac scored that chance. I mean, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It was brilliant from him, but it's such a big moment in the game, because the crowd, as you can hear, are already, you know, very noisy, but we've gone to a different level had they scored that.
Cognac's another one who was in the France under-21s, a different generation of players, relatively speaking. Playing career was, of course, pretty short, but he was in the 9 teams actually, with Edouard, Diaby and Upamecano. A lot of Frenchmen who perhaps haven't either made it in their homeland or with the national side have made the short trip over the border to Switzerland. The French city of Lyon is not far away from here. He's out to play for a throw-in on the far side to Rangers, just inside Servette territory. And Tavernier is the man that is over it on the Rangers' right. And bowls it onto the chest of Danilo with his little knockback, goes to Crivelli. Servette in possession. And Undua out to this near side to Vuilloz, who goes back away to Rouillet. Some noise.
It's unbelievable, Liam. I can hardly hear you. It's superb. The atmosphere is absolutely brilliant. What a night for it as well. It really is. If you can't enjoy this, you'll not enjoy anything.
Cognac just rolling it back to Severin. He finds Rouillet, long ball with the right foot down this near side now. It's a really excellent ball if he can get onto it, and he can, Vuilloz. But he can't win the corner off Barisic. The goal kick to Rangers as it breaks down. It's a really good pick out though. Initially 14 in 0-0 in the second leg. Rangers with that 2-1 lead on the aggregate score. And Jack Butland has a goal kick here for Rangers, whose supporters will be sitting pretty comfortably at the moment, other than that Cognac chance. It is still goalless in the match between Sturm Graz and PSV Eindhoven, and Graz have to win by 3 goals to take that even to extra time.
Can't see it happening.
Wouldn't have thought so. Throw in to Servette over on that left-hand side to be taken by Mazikou. Into Cognac. Back it comes to Mazikou. He goes back into his own half for his captain. And it is Steve Rouillet to Severin to his left. Long left foot ball forward, missed by Goldson. Headed half away by Barisic. Servette were almost in momentarily there, and they've lost it. Rangers have it back. It's out on this near side with Raskan trying to take on his man and at least win a throw, and he's managed to do that, although the linesman on this near side has actually given it the other way.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's got that right, the linesman. Started the game well as Raskan.
There's Cognac making it back to Undua, booked a few moments ago. Severin across the halfway line. Into that left-hand side for Maziku, takes a touch, looks up at the box and drives it off. Seaman behind for the corner. Servette's first corner of the evening comes in the 16th minute.
Yeah, it was actually a good block in the end from Sima getting back. I thought he was going to try and take him on. The full-back tries to go for the deep cross, deflects behind. In-swinger now, chance for Servette. A few big players in there.
The anticipation levels clearly being raised by this corner opportunity for Servette. On that far side, Timothy Cognat is over it. In-swinger with the right foot coming up. And the Servette left, a poor delivery. It's headed away by Cifuentes. And out for a Servette throw-in on the far side. Again, the quality in the cross wasn't good. It was the same from Tavernier a moment ago.
From two very technically gifted players as well. Expecting better.
Ball back to Severin. Short ball into the centre circle for Rouillet. Back to Severin, takes a couple of touches and switches the play. Big switch out to this near side. Guimeno leaves it onto the overlap, and Vouilloz, the challenge from Barisic, is claiming it came off the Servette player last, but once again the decision goes against Rangers. Barisic complains to the assistant on this near side. And it's going to be a throw-in for Servette, which is taken by Vouilloz across, and Guimeno is cut out. Cantwell helps out Danilo. It's Cantwell on the ball on this near side as Rangers win it back. Cantwell on the turn, left foot the ball, does well, digs it out to Sima. Sima prods it forward to Raskan and just bounces off perhaps his heel there and back into Servette possession. Guimeno with a long ball looking for Crivelli, headed out by Suter for a throw-in on this near side. It's 0-0 on 17.5.
Cantwell did really well there on this left-hand side. He's another who started the game really brightly. A lot of really neat touches. Gifted player.
Just kind of signs, Stephen, that Servette are seeing a bit more of the ball in Rangers territory in the last few minutes.
Yeah, they've managed to get themselves 20-30 yards up the pitch, but not really threatening apart from the Cognac chance, which is obviously a massive chance. Out with that, I can't really say that they've been putting the Rangers back four under any real pressure that they would be concerned about. Certainly not backs to the walls.
Now with Goldson, Rangers are walking pace here with their number 6 out to Tavernier on the right. He plays it up the line. Sima to Cifuentes, looking to get it back into the path of Sima with the first time balls, read by Severin, and out it goes for a throw-in over there to the visitors, a bit level with the edge of the centre circle. And Tavernier over it. Ryan Jack's a short option. Tavernier decides to bowl it to Cifuentes instead, back to Tavernier. He and Cifuentes exchange a 1-2. Forward Tavernier to Danilo, and Sima wins the throw-in of Maziku over on the far side.
It was a neat play again. 1-2s, triangles. Tavernier involved. Danilo, Sima.
It's a dink ball towards Sima down that right-hand side, which is too powerful for him to get onto.
Yeah, I thought the pitch was going to be really sticky, Liam, but actually there's been 2 or 3 occasions when the ball's been popped into the channel and it's just kind of skidded out. So when they watered the pitch, it must have worked well. It's very, very short grass as well. It's not a lot of grass. Well, there's a lot of grass, but it's not long grass.
Dusk beginning to fall here in southwestern Switzerland. The lights on, beaming down on that lush green surface as Barisic wins it back for Rangers on this near side. Down the line looking for Danilo. Ondua gets his head to it, and he manages to flick it back the way to Severin. He'll roll it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Just get the feeling if Rangers can find a goal, find a way to give themselves a 2-goal cushion in the aggregate scoreline, that they would be pretty comfortable in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that they are comfortable. I think that they'll be pleased with the opening 20 minutes in terms of the amount of possession that they've had and the fact that they've not been having to defend for their lives, which is what I was expecting. I really was expecting this Servette team to be putting balls into their box and really kind of pummeling Rangers, but it's not happened like that. Rangers have probably the better territorial play as well, but haven't really, apart from the Cifuentes kind of snapped shot, haven't really tested Joe Mallett either. So Jack Butland at the minute's the difference between the sides.
Still 0-0 in Austria. they're a couple of minutes ahead of us. As Butland takes the goal kick here for Rangers, right-footed, flips it out to the far side, looking for Sima. And it's a good header, won there by Maziku, ahead of Sima. And Servette have it back in the midfield with Konya, stabs it back into his own half. Rouillet out to Vuilloz on this near side. Infield it comes to the lively Guimeno. Raskin pinches it off him, but he can't keep it in play. And it's out for a Servette throw-in, but level with the edge of the centre circle on this near side. Servette right, it's pulled back there to Captain Rouillet, to Severin. Back it goes to Rouillet. Vuilloz is on this near side again as an option, but it's a long ball forward to Crivelli. Gets goal side of Suter, whips a shot towards goal, it's blocked. Chance here for Servette out on the left-hand side, a bending goal! What a finish! A bending shot from Derek Kutesa! Beats Jack Butland, all ends up and it finds the top right-hand corner. And Servette have the goal they craved, and that's the moment Rangers were dreading. It's Servette 1, Rangers 0 in the night, and 2-2 in aggregate.
The finish is absolutely incredible, Liam, from Kutesa. It's an incredible finish, but it comes from a ball that's played up to the edge of the box. John Suter gets underneath it. Crivelli, who I said was big, tried to link the play, took it in his chest, hits the shot, it's deflected back to the edge of the 18, rolled into the path of Kutesa, and yet, honestly, the touch and the finish are incredible. Incredible, right in the top corner.
Well, he's a son of Geneva's Derek Kutesa, and he's just levelled this tie. It's all square again. And now Rangers have work to do. And work to do in any case. And now they're going to have to score. If they don't, there's a chance it could go to penalties.
They've got to just
clearly,
but yeah, but they've got to keep their nerve about them, Liam. You know, this crowd are up now. They've got a huge lift from this, the Servette players. Rangers just need to find a wee bit of composure these next 10 minutes. Get some touches of the ball, keep the ball.
Servette have it back in the midfield. Now these next 5 or 10 minutes are going to be massive for Rangers. Cannot concede again. Cantwell to Tavernier to Raskin, right to the centre circle. Here is Cantwell. Cantwell attacking the box. Rolls it to the right. Here's Sima, looks up, low ball across, was left by Severin. He obviously heard the shout somehow from his captain Rouillet.
Not sure how he
out
heard
for
that.
a throw-in. He seemed pretty happy to let it go across him in front of his own goal.
Yeah, the cross comes along the 6-yard box and he's at the front post area. He lets it go and his other centre half clears it out for a throw-in, but I'm not sure he heard that in this stadium.
There's Tavernier driving towards the Servette box, 3 around him though, and he loses out. Cognac just nicks it to Kutesa, who scored that fabulous goal. With Servette in front on the night, and Sturm Graz have pulled one back in aggregate there in that tie against PSV. 1-0 as Rangers come forward. Cifuentes knocks the ball across the face of the 6-yard box. There's nobody there though in Rangers colours, and that's going to be a throw into Servette on this near side. 24 in, the Swiss lead 1-0, and as I was saying there, it's Sturm Graz 1, PSV Eindhoven 0, so that means it's 4-2 to the Dutch side on the aggregate, so perhaps not all over in that tie.
Stranger things have happened, Liam. Stranger things have happened.
You're seeing a replay of the Kutesa goal there, and it's pinpoint right into that postage stamp top right corner.
It's out of the top draw, it really is.
Servette throwing on this near side. Michael Beale down there with a suit on, standing on the edge of his technical area.
Must be roasting.
I'm not sure he needs the coat. Throwing ball forward there to the big striker Bedia, and that's going to be a free kick. Not going to be a high boot there, but anyway, it's going to be a free kick to Rangers just inside their own half. Barisic takes and rolls it back to Suter. Different game now, different tie now.
A very different tie.
I think Rangers were 2-0 up at one point in this tie.
Yeah, and you know, coming out of the home leg, Liam probably should have had a more handsome lead coming into this game, which was always going to be a difficult game regardless, but it could have been a wee bit of breathing space for them.
A slip from Raskin. Crivelli gets onto it, but he gives it straight back to Rangers with Jack. He just knocks it. Cifuentes out to the right for Tavernier. Low ball, Cantwell with the dummy, and it breaks on Doua's way. And it's now with Servette over on that left-hand side. Long ball forward, breaks to Crivelli. Just inside the Rangers half, he's tripped by Raskan. That will be a free kick to Servette, just inside their own half.
Yeah, he'll cause you problems, Will Crivelli, just with his physique, and John Souttar will be really disappointed with the goal that he mistimed his jump, and it allowed Crivelli to get the shot that then broke, that allowed to pass out to Contessa before that stunning finish. He's a great start to the season as well, John Souttar. He really has.
It was a strange one, wasn't it? He just seemed to be a little bit flat-footed.
He got caught under it, yeah.
It's with Servette on this near side. And Ruyoz, he's tripped by Cantwell, who protests the decision, but it is a Servette free kick. I think Cantwell has one or two words to say to Ruyoz down on this near side.
It makes me laugh a wee bit, Cantwell. You know, whenever he gets touched, he's quite good at, you know, making the most of it, and when he fouls somebody else, it's never a foul.
He likes noising opponents up, doesn't he?
He does. Don't mind a bit of that.
There's Tavernier for Rangers, flicks it with the outside of the boot. Now Sima turns towards the Servette goal, driving forward at pace, slows down, he's level with the 18-yard line, support arriving, Danilo and Cantwell in the middle, he leaves it for Tavernier, in comes the cross, goalkeeper clutches onto it, just about on the 6-yard line, and it stays on 27, Servette 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, my only issue really is with Rangers when they're putting the balls in from wide areas and it's only Danilo that's in the box there. He's not the tallest of centre forwards, and if you're going to be pumping balls into the box, I'm pretty sure the two centre halves for Servette will be quite comfortable if they're in the air.
Servette have only lost one home game since April 22. It was a 3-0 defeat to Luzerne, who Hibs play later in the week. That was in March this year. One loss in 22 in the Stade de Genève. A really good home record. A club that's beginning to find its feet again. 17-time Swiss champions, but not since 1999. All kinds of financial problems that saw them demoted down to the bottom tier to work their way up. As Severin turns it to the left-hand side, it's a clip ball forward there by Mazikou, and the offside flag is up on this near side. Free kick Rangers over on the right.
But he just went a wee bit early. Good spot from the linesman, who was in a good position to see it.
I see that Crivelli and Guimeno have switched places, so Crivelli's now playing out on the right-hand side of the midfield, and Guimeno's gone up through the middle to support Bedia. Not sure if that's just for a few minutes, we'll wait and see. Souttar playing the ball out of defence to Jack, goes back to his keeper, and now it's with Butland. And of course he made that wonderful save from Cognac. Servette could be 2-0 up here. It's played forward to Cantwell, to Raskan. That's despite Rangers being the better side for the majority of the 29 minutes that have been played. Servette had that glorious opportunity, and then they did eventually take one. It was a much more difficult finish. Cognac missed a one-on-one with Butland. It was Contessa, though, bending it into the far corner. You give Servette the lead on the night.
Give Contessa another 20 balls in that area with that little amount of time, and etc, etc. He's doing that maybe once out of 20 if he's lucky.
Long ball out to this near side, comes off the back of Barisic. Going to be a Servette throw-in.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've maybe moved Crivelli out to this right-hand side, looking for diagonals on top of Barisic for him. He is an aerial threat.
He's a unit.
He is indeed.
And he's on the ball here. 3 Rangers players around him, and eventually Cantwell comes away with it. Looking for support, looking for options ahead of him. Nothing at the moment, but he might be able to pop it through to Cifuentes. Flicks it with the outside of the boot. Cifuentes has it wide on the right, level with the 18. Low ball fired in. Danilo! What a mess!
Oh my word!
What a mess! Danilo. The goal was gaping for the Brazilian. 6 yards out. All he had to do was tap it home, and Rangers would have been back in front on aggregate. It stays Servette 1, Rangers 0. Bang on the half hour.
The ball in is magnificent. I cannot believe this miss. It is an astonishing miss.
What on earth is he doing?
He's 4 yards out on his left foot. All he has to do, the ball can just hit him and go in. He kicks it into the ground and up and over the bar and wide. It's a ridiculous miss. What an opportunity for Rangers that was. I mean, really.
It's a brilliant ball in. I mean, you cannot ask for a better ball than what Cifuentes just conjured up there.
You're not going to get a better chance in a match than that. That's just so utterly wasteful.
Well, you You put that in the drawer with the Sam Lammers one last week, and Rangers two goals that didn't happen that should have happened.
Yeah. Well, that one most definitely should have happened. Lammers one, yeah, the one in the first half I thought was a miss he should have done better with. The keeper obviously does really well with the second half one, but that miss there, I'm sorry, but there's no excuses.
Yeah, it's a horrifying moment for Danilo. You could see by his reaction. He shanked it down into the ground and over the bar it went. And chances in Champions League qualifiers don't come much better than that.
Fact.
It is Suter. It's back to Button. How important is that going to be when we're sitting here in an hour and a half's time?
Yeah, but I mean,
hours time.
You look at the game so far. We've had two really big chances, one for either side. There's not been that much else in the game, but I would expect that there's going to be more opportunities in the match. And you're right, at this level, you've got to be ruthless. You've got to take those chances when they arise.
Yeah, I mean, that was the kind of chance that Alfredo Morelos was sticking away in European matches for years.
Yeah.
A record goal scorer in European football. Morelos gobbles that up. Here's Cifuentes, and he blasts it high over the bar from 25 yards out. And it stays Servette 1, Rangers 0 on 32.
Liam, you would have scored that.
Don't be silly. But I mean, you were ready to tell the nation that Rangers had scored there.
Well, you're already just thinking the ball's in the back of the net.
1-1, by the way, Sturm Graz PSV Eindhoven.
That didn't last long.
No, the Dutch side extinguishing the faint Sturm Graz hopes you feel with that 1-1-1. And now 5-2 PSV on aggregate. This one, as it stands, going to extra time. As it stands, long way to go. Header from Severin into the centre circle. Jack picks up for Rangers. Poor ball from him, though. He was looking for Raskan, but it was too well. It's too telegraphed. They knew exactly where it was going, and they won it back. Now they've got a free kick, Servette, in this near side.
Yeah, it was slack from Ryan Jack, although I don't think there was necessarily too much in the foul that the midfielder bought. But a foul it is.
It's Guimeno who was brought down. He's come back out to the right. Crivelli's gone back through the middle. And everyone bar the Servette goalkeeper is in the Rangers half now. Free kick to the home team. It's about 10 yards inside the Rangers half, right of the centre circle. And a throng of players running about the edge of the D. In comes the free kick from Cognac, headed away by Suter. And Tavernier's going to pick up the scraps on that far side. So much has changed since Cyril Dessert put Rangers 2-0 up last week. But here's Cantwell, fires it to this near side for Sima. He's got an overlap from Barisic, uses him. Now it's Barisic, delicate, deft ball in towards the back post, but it might have just gone behind the line there. I think it's going to be a goal kick to Servette.
I think it drifted out. He got to the byline. He's normally very good in that situation. Barisic clips it to the back post, but I think the ball just, as it was going over the goal, went a foot or so out.
Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, 810 medium wave on digital and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Champions League third qualifying round action here. Final 11 minutes of the first half of the second leg. It's 2-2 on aggregate, 1-0 Servette on the night. To come on Thursday, it's Europa Conference League action. Hearts trailing Rosenborg 2-1, but they have the Norwegians at home in the second leg on Thursday. Hibs are in this country that we're in right now, and they take on Luzerne. They are 3-1 up after the first leg in Edinburgh last week, so Hibs in good shape to go through and potentially face Aston Villa in the playoff round for a place in the Conference League groups. Hearts looking to do likewise, get to the group stage. They would play Dinamo Zagreb or PAOK if they can overturn the 2-1 lead the Norwegians have. Sportson keep you going with that on Thursday night. It's out of play here in Geneva for a Servette throw over on that far side. And Mazikou is over it. And it's not forward. Contessa, long ball. And Bedia will give chase, but it's going to come right through to Jack Butland. The game perhaps in its calmest little spell, I would say.
I would agree with that, Liam. Yeah, Stings come out of it a wee bit. Not for the crowd.
Yeah, not necessarily a bad thing for Rangers though, because Servette with the leads in a precarious position right now. This tie for Rangers. Barisic dinks it forward, looking for Sima, who's beaten to it there by Rouillet, strong from the centre-back. And now it goes for a throw-in on this near side for the visitors. Borna Barisic is over it. And it comes to Cantwell, to Barisic, lifts it forward into the midfield, flicked on by Danilo. Cifuentes can't get onto it though. Headed away by Mazikou, who's going to get a second chance. Ryan Jack's header straight back to him, pumps it up high into the air, drops down onto the chest of Crivelli. How nonchalant was that?
Very good.
Yeah, eventually it's out to this near side. Crivelli's come over to the right flank again. He's going to get it from Cognac. Crivelli picks up midway inside the Rangers. That's a really good ball. Bedia was waiting for it, and Goldson has to concede the corner. He heads it behind from the 6-yard line. It's a Servette corner. What a wonderful ball in that was.
Yeah, you're right, Liam. I think Goldson does well. You know, the ball into a really, really dangerous area. He knows he can't take any chances. He's got to put it behind for a corner. Bedia was just right in behind him. It's a good decision in the end from Goldson. Maybe a bit too easy to allow the cross in the first place.
Timothy Cognac to take. In swinger with the right again over on the Servette left. And it comes, it's a header from Rouillet, and he puts it well wide, and that will be a goal kick to Rangers with 8 minutes of the first 45 still to play. Servette still with a 1-0 lead on the night. It's 2 apiece on the aggregate. But that's the second time Cognac didn't look like a great delivery, to be fair. Rouillet made the best of it as PSV Eindhoven go 2-1 up in Austria, and that's it now.
Curtains.
Yeah, lights out. It will be PSV in the playoff. Here come Rangers. Sima changes pace, into the box he goes. Needs to turn away from goal though, rolls it wide left for Cantwell, level with the penalty spot. Jinks onto the right foot, low ball, back to Cifuentes, takes a touch at the edge of the box. Decides to take it for a run towards the byline. Cifuentes tries to pull it back, but it's gone straight to Rouillet, who clears. Kind of looked as though he just needed to be a little bit more proactive there, Cifuentes. Yeah.
He was hesitant, Liam. When the ball arrived at him just probably 19 yards out, he should have taken a touch, set himself and got a shot off. He took too many touches, he looks offside.
Well, they're going to play on though, of course, and this is a chance. Kutesa driving in on goal, looks up at the goal, shoots, saved by Butland. Corner only, Jack Butland saves. I think Rangers are looking for an offside.
Well, I can tell you one thing. If it isn't offside, he's in his own half.
He's in his own half, yeah.
If it isn't offside, he has got to square that. I cannot believe he did not square that.
Squimeno's waiting for a tap-in.
It's a tap-in. It's an absolute tap-in. Another huge let-off for Rangers. He probably thought after he'd scored the first one, I'll go and score this second one. But all he needs to do is lift his head, roll it across the 6-yard line, and Servette are 2-0 up.
In comes the corner. There's a header from Bedia. Crivelli's there, but Suter is as well. And he concedes another corner on this near side this time. Rangers under the cosh here in Geneva.
Yeah, it's not been a good last couple of minutes for them. What they could do with a half-time whistle, go in and try and get a bit of information onto the players from their manager.
Yeah, because I mean, yes, they came here with a lead, but this tie's level right now. Yeah. There's no panic.
It's anyone's now.
Yeah.
It's anyone's now.
Cognac's going to take outswinger coming.
Look
right.
at those 2 chances that
Right.
Servette have missed.
Yeah, right in front of the Rangers fans. Another poor delivery by Cognac, and Rangers clear up towards the halfway line and played back to his goalkeeper by Kutesa, who missed the chance there to tee up Guimeno for a certain goal. Here's Cognac up the other end, controls the 6-yard line, gets the cross in, another good ball in. It's too high for Crivelli, and Bedia hadn't got into position. Tavernier keeps it in play over on the far side. Hugely important phase in the game, this. Here's Cantwell in the centre circle. He rolls it back out wide right for Tavernier. And Cantwell crosses the halfway line, rolls it short, flicks it with the outside of the boot to Jack, back to Cantwell. Gets it away from Ondua, lovely little back heel for Jack, gives it back to Cantwell. Wide in the right, level with the penalty spot, in comes the cross, and it goes onto the roof of the net. And behind for the goal kick, poor ball in the end. Final 5 of the first 45 in the second leg. Servette 1, Rangers 0. But how there's only 1 goal in this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been a good game to watch, Liam. I have to say, I've enjoyed the opening 45 minutes. You know, but you look at the 3 chances that have been missed. Obviously Danilo's, and then the 2 for Servette. You know, you're not going to get better chances than that. You really are not.
It's going to be a long ball Forward there by Mal. Target was Crivelli. He's out jumped there by Barisic, but here's Cognac picking up the loose ball and rolling it to the left for Contessa. He's level with the penalty spot up against Tavernier. It's the goal scorer for Servette, jinking his way to the edge of the box, pulled back to Cognac to the edge of the area. His shot's blocked. Will Contessa be happy with the corner? Yes, he will. Servette corner as they pile yet more pressure on this Rangers rearguard.
Yeah, 5 minutes to go to half-time for Rangers. They've just got to hang in. Servette are smelling blood here.
Yeah, they could turn this tie round in this first half the way it's going right now. They missed two huge opportunities on top of their goal. Cognac's corner, headed away by Suter. That's good from John Suter. Urges his teammates out. They're getting quite deep here, Rangers. Ondua switches the play to this near side. He's off target with a pass though, and it goes out of play for a Rangers throw, and that will come as a huge relief to Michael Beale, who's been sat down for most of this first half in his dugout.
Yeah, Servette have really grown into this game in this first half. Rangers started the game the better team. He would have been delighted, Michael Beale, with the start that they made. But as the game has gone on and the half has gone on, Servette are getting more and more confident.
Servette on the ball, midway inside their own half. It's eventually moved to the feet of Severin. Goes across the halfway line. Ball forward to Contessa. It's spinning away from Goldson, who does well. Strong holds him off. Contessa's gone down. I think he's claiming Goldson has caught him. The referee isn't stopping play from the moment though. Contessa getting himself back to his feet.
Yeah, there's nothing in that, I don't think. It's either a wee fish hook or a poke in the eye.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I just saw the replay there.
Which one was it? The fish hook?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
On the eye.
Oh, in the eye, fish hook in the eye?
Yeah,
oh,
painful,
right.
to be fair. It is Severin for Servette, out to Mazikou on that left-hand side. So he rolls it back to the edge of his own box to Severin, who finds his goalkeeper. Rangers have had to deal with huge pressure in the last 15-20 minutes. They started as the better team. The opening 15-20 was really good from them. They've been under the cosh for long spells since then. As Jack collects midway inside his own half, centre area. He moves it to the edge of the centre circle for Cantwell, back to Jack. Jack with the right foot, side foots it to his right for Jose Cifuentes. And then rolls it to Tavernier on the far side touchline. Back it comes to Goldson. Goldson has it. Long ball coming from Goldson, looking for Danilo. Danilo going after it. He'll be desperate to make amends for that huge miss earlier on, but that's not going to help his confidence as it bobbles away from him and out of play for a Servette throw-in on this near side to the joyous sounds of the Servette supporters.
He's struggled in this first half. There's Danilo. His miss aside, been sloppy on one or two occasions. His touch hasn't quite been there.
See, as a striker and you miss a gilt-edged opportunity like that, how long does that sit with you?
For the rest of your life, Liam, for the rest of your life. It's difficult. You want another chance. It's what you want in the match. You want another chance quickly to try and make amends, but no, that will haunt you. That will haunt you.
Here's Cantwell. Out to Raskan. Barisic in the overlap. Raskan turns in field, looks up, sweeps the ball in, the cross ball into the box, but it's gone straight through to Joel Mal, who then bowls it quickly to Cognac. He's got Contessa running ahead of him. Goldson's the covering player. Contessa's on the ball. Good counter by Servette here. Contessa's in the box, comes off Goldson and behind for yet another corner in the final minute of the first half of the second leg of this Champions League third qualifying round tie. They cannot get out of their own half here. And when they do, it's coming straight back.
Yeah, they're not doing well enough securing the ball when they do have possession of it further up the pitch. Contessa's caused them a lot of problems in the last 20 minutes down that left-hand side. He really has, with his pace and his direct running.
He's been so much better, Contessa, tonight than he was at Ibrox last week. Cognac takes the corner, right-footed from the Servette left. A better delivery, comes off the head of Crivelli, but it goes harmlessly wide, and that will be a goal kick. And mercifully for Rangers, just 1 minute of injury time or stoppage time has been added on at the end of the first half here in Geneva, and we're already into that. And Butland will take this goal kick, and he's in no hurry to do so. It's 2-2 on aggregate. As it stands, it's extra time. Still the second 45 to come. An important half-time team talk coming up from Michael Beale for these Rangers players. Long ball forward by Butland, header from Sima right through to Mal. And Servette might fancy having one last opportunity before the half-time whistle, which is about 15 seconds away. Nazikou on the far side rolls it back to Severin and then to his goalkeeper. And then he goes long with the right foot. Actually, he's broken Guimeno's way. I make that time up, but Guimeno's going to be allowed to continue here. Challenge from Banisic out for a Servette throw-in, but there's no time to take it. It's half-time in Geneva. And that is a sweet sound for Rangers. The half-time whistle. Not so much the cheering from the Servette supporters. What a den inside this stadium. First time it's sold out in 2 decades. And they believe their team can reach the Champions League groups. They were behind in the tie coming into this second leg after those Tavernier and Dessert goals at Ibrox last Wednesday night. But that penalty from Bedia just before half-time in Glasgow was always going to be crucial, particularly when Rangers failed to take advantage of the 10 men of Servette for the last half hour of the game last week in the first leg. Now, this has been a first half of missed opportunities. One was taken by Kutesa, who squared the tie in 23 minutes. It was a fabulous finish from him as he bent it into the top right corner, and not really too much Jack Butland could have done about that. It broke too kindly for Kutesa, but he still had a lot to do, and the finish was supreme, and that has given some serious impetus to the Swiss side, who had earlier missed a one-on-one chance. Cognac was through, saw the whites of Butland's eyes, and the Rangers keeper made the save. Kutesa himself missed an opportunity, should have squared it to Guimeno for a tap into an empty net. He went himself and Butland made the save. But Rangers are being left lamenting Danilo, their big summer signing from Feyenoord, missing a glorious opportunity. The goal was gaping, the keeper wasn't there. It was an open goal effectively, and it came to him from Cifuentes. He fired it across the face of goal. It was a wonderful ball, but Danilo somehow got it horrendously wrong as he shanked it down into the ground, and away past the goal it went. And how important is that going to be come the close of business here in Switzerland tonight? Half-time in the second leg of this Champions League third qualifying round tie is Servette 1, Rangers 0, and 2-2 on aggregate.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute. Following Scotland's teams in continental competition.
Continuing on Thursday evening with action from the Europa Conference League qualifiers.
And a chance to goal, it's a terrific finish.
Hearts versus Norway's Rosenborg.
Brilliant goal from Hearts.
Watch on BBC Scotland.
Listen on digital radio or play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
And updates as Lucerne of Switzerland take on Hibernian.
European dreams live here.
On Thursday.
We want our domestic teams to go and do well in Europe as well if they can, and that means every single one of them.
What a goal!
BBC Scotland.
No doubt the game in Switzerland is very much in the balance this evening. Servette leading Rangers by 1-0. Derek Kutesa with a goal on 22 minutes. It's 2 apiece on aggregate. Looking at the match stats, the Rangers have actually dominated possession, 57%. Shots, 8 for the home side, 5 for Rangers, 3 on target. Rangers yet to find 1 shot on target. No doubt they should have had 1 on target. It should have hit the back of the net. Danilo, an open goal there coming in at the back post, but he put the ball over the bar. Big moments in this game. Kevin Thompson is with me in the studio this evening. Kevin, sometimes it's been quite a hard watch, and I think back to that first leg, there were times in that game where you'd think it should be tie over almost. Rangers had a lot of chances. In this game, you could actually say the same for the home side. They've had a number of great chances.
Yeah, the one that goes straight through right at the start, Kenny, and Butland makes a great save down to his side. The finish that we're seeing is just sublime, really. You know, yeah. Butland's no chance. I think Conor Golson can get out quicker. I know he does the traditional, put his hands behind his back. He's desperate to obviously not bring his hands into play with a shot, but I still think he can get tighter and even move his feet and try and block the shot. Listen, it's a wonderful finish. But probably lit off the hook, Kenny. Possession for me means nothing. It's what you do with the ball, and they have looked dangerous. We knew that. We knew the atmosphere. We knew that as you mentioned, the game last week, there's always that chance that it comes back to bite you in the backside. And so far, not putting the game to bed last week when Rangers had the opportunity, as it stands, it looks like that might be the factor for not putting them to bed last week.
Yeah, it certainly gave the Swiss side a lot of hope, the fact that Rangers couldn't put them away up against 10 men for the vast majority of the second half at Ibrox. How on earth to explain the Danilo miss? I'm also thinking as well, for him as a player, how do you put that behind you?
Yeah, it's a tough one, and it is a big miss. It's I'm pretty sure Tomo's chapping at the bit over there, thinking that he would have done anything to put that ball in the back of the net and get opportunities like that. But listen, I would have probably missed it as well, to be honest, Kenny. The only saving grace I would have had, it would have been on my left peg. But I just think I want to make an excuse almost as if it comes quick. But listen, the quality player, we know he's got quality in abundance to get an opportunity like that on the big stage in such a big game, which could have a huge factor in obviously Rangers' season moving forward, especially financially. It's such a cruel miss.
It's going to be tough for him psychologically, Stephen, is it not? Because that could turn out to be the difference at the end of the night.
Yeah, I mean, you always, when you're a striker, and you know, I've missed big chances in my career when I was a player, and you want another chance, as I said in commentary. You want another crack at it quickly to try and obviously make amends, but it can get into your head a wee bit, especially when it's a miss of that magnitude. I mean, I can't fathom how he's not managed to hit the target, even if it kind of comes off him in a sclaff. It doesn't need to be a clean connection. You just need to get anything at all on the ball to direct it goalwards. And for a player that's cost the money that he's had, you would expect that he would have put that in the net. Listen, we're all capable of it. But for it to happen to him, it's such a moment of magnitude at the start of his Rangers career. He'll be playing that one back, believe you me. He'll not be sleeping tonight. He'll be playing that one back in his head for a long, long time. But that's what I'm saying. You've got to just try and get it out your head and go and get another goal. But I think he's been quiet in the match. Out with that, I don't think he's had an impact in the game, really. And whether that's been involved in linking the play or whether he's in 1v1 situations, I've not seen him go and take anybody on. As a striker, I'm looking at and I'm saying, what are you offering me just now? You know, how many shots have you had? Are you causing problems with your movement, etc., etc.? I'm not seeing enough from him leading the line just now.
We'll bring Kevin in on this, Stephen, but just talk to us about the formation that Michael Beale has gone with tonight. What are the issues with it? What's not working?
Well, they started the game really well. I think he would have been delighted with how he started the game. And I think Cantwell in moments has looked bright. At times, Barisic has got himself into good areas. I'd say Tavernier probably could get forward a wee bit more on the right-hand side. And then almost towards the end of the half, it looked like Sima was kind of almost up front in a two alongside Danilo for large spells. And it can be fluid, because we've seen Cantwell and Neil McCann did a piece on him at the weekend, and how he does have a kind of free role on the side. He'll roam, Will Cantwell. But no, I think when you look at it, the goal that they've conceded comes for me from John Suter not dealing with the first contact, the first ball that's played up to Crivelli. And then, yes, I think I agree with Kev that I think that they could have closed it down a wee bit better, but you're probably not expecting Kutesa to put it where he put it. I mean, the finish is absolutely sublime. The other one where Kutesa is running down the left-hand side, cuts in and goes for glory himself, he has just simply got to square that. If he squares it, it's a tap-in on the other side for Guillemot. So Rangers have lived dangerously, but they've got to remember that they have created the best chance in the match. They've missed it. All they need to do is create another one and get a goal. But as the half wore on, you were getting more and more concerned for Rangers. From about the midway point in the half, Rangers were dropping deeper. You could see that Servette's tails were up, the crowd were right behind them, the atmosphere has been incredible, and Rangers were rocked, and I think half-time has come at a really good time for them. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a couple of changes, whether at half-time or soon after half-time, because I think in forward areas it's just not quite clicked, which has been probably a wee bit of a story for Rangers so far this season.
Yeah, Kevin, your thoughts on the formation? We were actually chatting when the guys were commentating there, and we're discussing some. It happened a lot in the past. One fullback is crossing that ball, and the amount of times it was getting crossed from the left-hand side. Tavernier was there at the back post. How different is this system under Michael Beale?
Yeah, I think it's certainly more narrow, Kenny. It's the formation certainly midfield looks it looks like a diamond at times, and then sometimes it ends up almost like a box at times, and then Cantwell gets a licence. The bit that I would say that, minus how good the four in midfield are, I'm not so sure Barisic and Tavernier are as athletic as they used to be, and I'm not so sure they're as positive as they used to be. Listen, I know they're away from home, I know they're in Europe, I understand that, but I do think when Rangers, when they did have the kind of 2 inside 10s, the 2 outside 8s, and they played with that flat 3 and then the 3 in front, Barisic and Tavernier that system didn't work without them. It was so important, and as you mentioned, week after week after week, you're so used to seeing a Barisic cross and a Tavernier coming in the back post, vice versa. Yeah, not successful as much obviously as James Tavernier, Bonner Barisic putting the ball in the back of the net, but to cause confusion at the back post, to sustain the pressure in, because he's high enough up the pitch that when the ball comes out, he can then regain it and they can go again, and they can have that pressure. At the moment, I see Rangers creating bits of brilliance, breaking away, great interplay, but I don't see them having a sustained amount of pressure on teams. What we're used to seeing, Kenny, I think not having the players as high, especially in full-back areas, don't allow you to box teams in. And at the moment, I think that's not allowing Rangers to almost suffocate teams.
Why does he not play with width? He doesn't really have the options, does he?
He's not recruited really the players to play that way. He's got his system, Kenny. He's got his beliefs. He's got his knowledge. Listen, he's a wonderful coach, and he's got an idea and identity of how he wants to play. He'll tinker with it, he'll change it. He sometimes likes to jump a player. We used to watch a Joe Aribo jump into the front line, so sometimes it looked like a 4-2-4, just to cause confusion. So he'll always have wee things up his sleeve to tinker, but at the moment for me, when I look at Sima and I look at Danilo, they're both athletic. I wouldn't say either of them are blisteringly quick, and they probably don't have a huge threat in behind, so I think teams are quite happy to go and squeeze, and when you're compact, it ends up becoming like a wee bit scrappy, and 9 times out of 10 the space is in the width. So if you've not got really exciting players and key players in wide areas, when the ball does go out there...
Yeah, I'd agree, Kev. I think since Kent and Sakala obviously is just gone, but regardless of what people thought of them, and they could blow hot and cold, Kent and Sakala, but the one thing they would give defenders was problems with their pace, and any defender in the world, the one thing they don't like playing against is pace, and Sakala really raw, but he would cause defenders nightmares because of his running, his speed. Kent at times as well, they're just lacking a wee bit of pace and dynamism at the top end of the pitch, and certainly in the 3 games that I've watched them this season, it's just not quite. They don't look as threatening a team as they have done in previous seasons.
It's like you know what it's like, Tom. It's like that confusion. It's like that worry. It's like that extra yard or 2 deeper for the defence, which then creates a wee bit more space for a Cantwell. People might not see it, but it's such a massive attribute to have in your team when you know that, like, you've got speed, you've got confusion for the back line. They slightly deepen off because they're worried about speed, and all of a sudden it creates that wee bit space for your magic players to go and play in. At the moment, it's like, I feel like Cantwell's having to be like unbelievable just to almost influence the game, where I think, like, if you've got speed, it'll create a wee bit more space for him to go and pick his passes.
Yeah, and Sakala, I suppose, given that the opportunity was presented to him, Rangers didn't want to stand in his way. And we know consistency was a big issue with him, Kevin, but you did have that pace. You did feel you didn't quite know what was going to happen next. As you say, that's very difficult to defend against. You just look now at the options that Michael Beale has in this second half, and one thing the guys were discussing on Sports on Saturday, he's recruited what seems to be very much a type of player, quite similar, a lot of the players that he's recruited. Where do you see on that bench that he can change this game?
Well, I think when you look automatically, you look at Yanis Hadji as a match winner. He's not featured as much, he's off the back of a big injury, but he's the same type, Kenny. He's that one that plays a wee flick round the corner, a give and go. He's got a chop, he can get a yard. He's never really going to run away from people. He uses his football intelligence to get away from people, whether it's a give and go or a wee flick round the corner. I'm looking at Scott Wright, who was brilliant in Europe. Brilliant in Europe. He's I'm not so sure he's been sin died. That would probably be the wrong terminology, but it doesn't look like he's going to potentially have a future at Rangers moving forward. But he's in the squad at the moment. He's got speed, he can travel, he's a threat. he has, whether people like it or don't, or have mixed opinions on Scott Wright, he's produced big moments at big times for Rangers. Not played anywhere near consistently as he would like, but he's certainly come up trumps in big moments. I think at the Scottish Cup final, I think a European run all the way to Seville, even though he never featured week in, week out in the games, he certainly brought big opportunities for the team, whether it was just using his running capacity, his energy, his speed to running behind. So it'll be interesting to see, because then you flick that and you look at Dessers like for like.
He got a tough time at the weekend.
He did, and that is the hard part. I look at Kieran Dowell, same again. Lammers that certainly can come on and create problems, but the same type really, Kenny. So I think when you're a coach or a manager and you look at your bench, you're not bringing on like for like if you think there's a problem. You're bringing on what you think can change things. So I think if the manager was looking at a change, I'd be surprised if he doesn't look a wee bit left field and look for somebody like Scott Wright with speed.
Yeah, Stephen, you go along with that. He came on in the second half last week, of course.
Yeah, well, he's the one player who's got that bit of speed and maybe that bit of unpredictability. There is a lot of players on the bench that are undoubtedly quality players, Lammers, Dowell, Hadji, but they're not going to inject any pace into the team, and they're not going to do anything that Cantwell can't do whilst he's in there himself. I'd be surprised if we didn't see Lammers, Dessers, and for me, I think Scott Wright is the one that would bring a wee bit of something different. Danilo's got a lot to do in this half in terms of just offering more as a kind of number 9 for Rangers. I don't think he's done enough in that half, his miss aside. Dessers would at least give you a bit more physical presence in there. But whatever they do, they're going to have to start the half better than they finished the last one.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And no doubt PSV await the winners of this tie. They're winning tonight, cruising on Agg. Let's then get back. Can Rangers turn this one around? We'll find out live from Geneva with Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Rangers have been to Switzerland 4 times before this one and yet to win. Most recently took on Young Boys in Bern. Back a couple of seasons now. Young Boys have been bossing things in Switzerland, save for one season when Zurich won the title. As the historic clubs have been struggling to win the league in this country. Servette haven't won it since 1999. They're the 3rd most successful club. Grasshopper and Basel both won more titles than Servette, although in recent years, as I say, it's the clubs from Bern and Zurich that, or FC Zurich at least, who have been in charge. Servette get the second half underway, no changes for either side. At the start of the second half of the second leg, and Servette in their maroon shirts, blue shorts, maroon socks, right to left. Rangers all in white this evening. We'll go left to right, shooting towards the end where their fans are housed in this fabulous Stade de Genève, which was part of the co-hosting with Austria of Euro 2008. And it will be a Rangers throw-in over on that far side. Balled up towards Sima. Tries to chest it towards Danilo. He's not going to be able to keep it in play though. And it's a throw-in over on that far side. Rangers then with Butland in goal. Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Barisic, Cifuentes, Raskan, Jack, Cantwell, Sima and Danilo. Servette, Mal in goal. Vuyos, Rouillet, Severin, Mazikou, Guimeno, Cognat, Ondua, Kutesa, the goal scorer. Crivelli and Bedia are up front. And it's going to go out of play for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Bowled by Tavernier to Cifuentes. Back to Tavernier. Forward to Cantwell. Good ball. Cantwell driving towards the box. Looks up, rolls it through towards Sima. Danilo with a little flick. The header from Cantwell goes straight to the goalkeeper, who holds on comfortably. That was a really good bit of play by Rangers. And it looked as though, just for a moment, a brief moment, that Todd Cantwell was going to be in there to level the match.
Yeah, Cantwell picking it up in a really dangerous area again, lays it off, the ball can spun into Danilo and he just flicks it with the outside of his foot, and it's just too high. It's in between, because Cantwell, he would want to hit that in the volley, but it's just too high for him. He has to stoop and can't get any power on the header, but a decent start from Rangers this second half.
Big switch by Suter, looking for Tavernier. He's found him as well. Tavernier controls on this near side, level with the 6-yard line. Back towards Cantwell, she's flicked away by Ondua though. Picked up by Kutesa. Taking on Cifuentes. Kutesa checks his run, turns back, facing his own goal, works it into the midfield. Here's Ondua. Guimeno to his right. Poor ball though. It goes out of play. It's the right idea. It goes out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side. I suppose for Michael Beale at half-time there, Stephen, It would have been important for him to say, look, you're not behind in the tie, you're behind in the night. This tie's level.
Yeah, and you've lost the first half, but go out and win the second half. Make it as simple as that for them. Rangers can play better than they did in the first half, that's for sure, but they did create 1 or 2 chances, obviously one brilliant chance.
Nothing on target though, and that's been a problem. But here's Sima going round the defender on the right hand side of the box into the area. He comes, but it's brilliantly covered there by Rouillet, and then it comes bouncing off Cantwell, and he probably deserves his luck there. He's excited to play for a goal kick.
Well, it was a bold challenge to make in the box. 100% had to get this spot on as he slid in from about 6 feet away, and he did get it spot on. It was a great piece of defending.
A big favourite here. 165th appearance for Servette tonight. Will be a goal kick to the home side. Mal to take. Remember, extra time and penalties if required this evening for a place in the Champions League playoff against PSV Eindhoven, who are well ahead against Sturm Graz. Here is Cantwell moving in field, left of the circle, knocks it out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Taking on his man, just slips it to the penalty spot area for Danilo. Back to Tavernier, poor ball. He had Raskan and some decent space left hand side of the Servette box there.
It's the pass he was looking for. It was actually a good play initially from Cantwell out to Tavernier, drives in the pitch, pops off a 1-2, and then the pass is on to Raskin, but misplaced by the captain.
Their defeat at Ibrox last week's a bit of an outlier in their recent form for Servette. They've been unbeaten in 12 going back into last season before their visit to Glasgow. They were beaten 6-1 by young boy Cedric Etienne, scored a hat-trick. Former Rangers striker Cifuentes to Raskan at the edge of the box, and the goalkeeper has to tip it over. It's very central, and perhaps caused them more problems that he managed to ping it towards one of the top corners. The keeper still called into action. A shot on target for Rangers at last, 49 and a half in.
Yeah, it was a bit untidy from the goalkeeper. Felt as though he could have caught that if he'd wanted to. Ends up tipping over. Yeah, there's a shot from Raskin. Decent dip on it, but straight at the goalkeeper.
Tavernier will take an out-swinging corner from the near side, right in front of the Rangers fans. Drives it back to the edge of the area, and Cantwell slices at fresh air. And it comes back to Barisic. It's a good idea from Tavernier. Barisic finds Jack, left-hand side of the box, back to Borna Barisic. First time left foot ball bent in, lovely ball, brilliant! Rangers are back level on the night through Tavernier. Brilliant ball from Barisic. And it is their captain, fantastic, who digs them out of a hole again in Europe. It is now Servette 1, Rangers 1, and the Scottish team have their lead back in aggregate at 3-2.
Massive goal for Rangers. Brilliant time to score. The quality of ball in from Barisic is absolutely superb. The goalkeeper comes in, gets caught in no man's land. Tavernier is very proactive coming in at the back post. His marker drops him, and it's the simplest of headers from only 2 yards out. What a big goal for Rangers.
Yeah, and as soon as he turned away from the goal to celebrate, he was met by the 2,000 Rangers supporters who wildly celebrated that equaliser on the night, and Rangers have their lead back in aggregate. That's a brilliant start in the second half from them, you have to say.
Yeah.
But what a ball by Borna Barisic it was, as Goldson has some defending to do up against Beddy up the other end. Servette throw in, level with the Rangers 18, and now Rangers are back to where they were at the start of the night.
Well, it's been a great reaction from them. Whatever Michael Beale said at half-time has certainly worked.
It's Mazikou for Servette, popping it through, blocked by Jack though. He tried to slip it through to his teammate inside the box. It's cleared by Raskan. There's a flag going up. I think the ball had gone out on this near side. It's going to be a throw into the Swiss side. Well, that's certainly given Servette something to think about now. But again, as we keep saying, this is a team that seems to thrive in adversity.
Yeah, they do, but they're going to have to come out now and go after the game, which should leave spaces for Rangers to create more opportunities. Goldson's taking one in the face.
Yeah, high boot by Bedia on Goldson. It's going to be a free kick to Rangers, and it'll just kill the game for a minute or so. Goldson still on the deck, free kick level with the edge of the D of their own box on this near side. Now, how often have you seen Barisic putting a ball like that? And Tavernier does it from the other side, we know that, and this is fullback to fullback to bring Rangers back on terms on the night in Geneva.
Yeah, his delivery has never been in question, Borna Barisic. His delivery is absolutely superb. And the guys were talking about it at half-time in the studio, full-back to full-back. And it was Tavernier who'd been up there from the previous corner anyway. A bit of a mix-up between Crivelli and Cognat at the back post. Neither of them picked him up. The goalkeeper comes, gets it all wrong. Tavernier takes advantage.
Golson's still down. He's actually taken, I think, Bedia's right kneecap square to the face. So he's down, being worked on just now. The Servette fans not happy with the length of time it's taking. As the players take on some fluids down below us. It's still baking hot here.
Tell me about it. I'm in my 7th cup of water.
Golson still down. Well, that's exactly what Michael Beale wanted there. A reaction from his team, and they had a couple of efforts on target which they didn't manage at all in the first half. They've had a couple before they actually scored there. Cantwell's header, difficult one for them to take, then Rascan on the edge of the box, and then not too long after that Tavernier's nodding them back into the lead on aggregate. 3-2 up they are.
Yeah, they started the second half with a real purpose, a bit of a swagger about them. It's now in their own hands.
Golson's off the pitch just now, but he's going to be back on shortly. Rangers down to 10 just now. Golson's got to come up to the halfway line before he can re-enter the pitch. Jack Butland goes long with the right foot. The header away by Severin into the midfield, comes off Rascan's head. Up goes Cifuentes with Cognac, but it breaks Bedia's way. Shifts it to the right, and it's picked up by Vuilloz. Crosses the halfway line, knocks the ball forward there for Guimeno, who is fouled by Barisic, says the Italian referee. And it's going to be a free kick to Servette, wide on the right-hand side, about midway inside Rangers territory.
Yeah, Barisic just coming in slightly late at the back of him. I think he makes the most of it. He tried the flick and it hadn't really come off for him. Probably a soft foul in my book.
And Golson is trying to stem the blood from his nose there. Well, have had to reset it down on the pitch. It's not the first centre-half to have that happen. Here comes the free kick into the box, and it was met really well by Rouillet with the right foot, but it was straight to Butland, who holds on, and it stays one apiece in the night, and 3-2 to Rangers on aggregate on 55 minutes.
Yeah, he did well to get to it, Rouillet.
Might be another chance for Danilo as he chases a ball through, but out comes the goalkeeper, and he knocks it out for a throw-in on this near side to the visitors. Two balls on the pitch, so get rid of one of them, and Tavernier is the other one in his hands now. He's of course the top scorer in the Europa League when they got to the final 2 seasons back, James Tavernier. And he's just so dependable ever since he signed for the club.
Is that 105 now? Goals?
103.
No, was it not 104 last week? The penalty.
Right, we'll focus on the match and then we'll sort it out later on, okay? Little header from Ondua on this near side. It's picked up by Sima, forward to Danilo. Onto the chest to Sima on this near side.
Dived.
Yeah, he goes down too easily, and it's cleared by Servette. And it comes all the way through to Suter. Midway inside his own half. Short ball to Golson, looks up the line, right-footed ball. Cantwell with a touch, but it's a poor one. And he goes out of play for a throw-in on the near side to Servette. As Sturm Graz level on the night, 2-2 with PSV, but 6-3 down on the aggregate scoreline in that one. As things stand, it's a rematch between Rangers and PSV Eindhoven. Long way to go though. Here's Cognac sweeping it from left to right to the centre circle. It's picked up by Guimeno, who's driving forward, just rolls it to his right. And it's picked up by Vuilloz, taking on Rascan. Rascan's done well, gets between the man and the ball, but Vuilloz bites back. Held by Guimeno, little back heel. Finds Vuilloz again, looking to win at least the corner, which he does. Off Barisic. It's good play there between the right-sided Servette players from Vuilloz and from Guimeno, and it draws their first corner of the second half.
Yeah, Raskin did well to get back and kind of snuff out the first bit of action, and Barisic coming over to join him as well. Deflected away for a corner.
Servette's 7th corner of the evening.
Ew.
Oh dearie me, that is literally the worst corner I've ever seen.
Ew.
He's just literally passed it behind the line and out for a goal kick.
That was bogging.
It's Cognac. And his manager is furious.
No wonder. What on earth was he doing? Remarkable stuff.
His deliveries weren't great in the first half, but at least they were going into the box. Butland short to Goldson. Long ball looking for Danilo. Severin was the favourite, comes off his head but goes back towards his own goal. Sima chasing it, well defended by Rouillet. Stood up to things really well, Rouillet. Severin rolls it back to his goalkeeper. Takes a touch, Danilo all over him, but he gets it away. Out to the right hand side. Right footed ball infield by Vuyos, given away into the centre circle with Cifuentes. Here's Jack, forward to Cantwell, and now Cifuentes. Out to Tavernier, level with 18-yard line. Tavernier taking on Maziku, moves into a central area, plays it back to Jack. Out wide left onto the touchline for Barisic, up against Guimeno, level with the 6-yard line now, gets the ball in, headed away by Ondua. And that will go out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side. Michael Beale down in his technical area. He's got a couple of his players out warming up. I think Cyril Desser is one of them and Sam Lammers the other.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see.
It looks as though Lammers is going to be coming on. It might be both of them actually.
Yeah, Danilo's struggled for me this evening.
He won't want to come off though, because he'll want to exorcise the ghosts of that miss in the first half.
Yeah, but out with that miss, you know, as I said at half-time, I don't think he's brought a lot to this game.
So Lammers and Desser will be on very shortly as we approach the hour mark in Geneva. Rouillet sweeps it up high into the air, into the Rangers half, drops down onto the head of Goldson, nods it out to the far side, out for a throw-in for Servette, which Guimeno is going to leave for Vuyos. He's about level with the edge of the centre circle. Cognac at close quarters, but he's a look up the pitch instead, wants to attempt something a little bit more ambitious. Pulls it in field and he gives it straight to Cifuentes. Servette pick it up immediately though, but a long ball out to this near side is off target. Maziku couldn't keep it in play and it goes out for a Rangers throw-in.
It's working well for Rangers. This Servette looking disjointed at this minute in time. A lot of stray passes, their possession, they're not keeping the ball as well as they did the last 20 minutes of the first half.
That Sturm Graz equaliser to make it 2-2 was ruled out for offside after a VAR check, so it remains 2-1 PSV on the night, and they are 6-2 up in aggregate. 3-2 Rangers in aggregate here. We've played an hour. 1-1 on the night. Tavernier cancelling out that wonderful Derek Utessa opener in the first half. And now the changes will be made by Rangers. The first player to come off is Sima. Lammers will replace him. So that's the first of the changes, and the other one will surely be Danilo. He knows his number's up. Yeah, off he comes. Cyril Desser will come on, and now Danilo must hope that his teammates finish the job, and then nobody has to really talk about that miss.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will still be talked about, the miss from Danilo, but a chance for Dessers, who had a tough time on Saturday, to go and put his mark in this game.
Desser scored the second Rangers goal in the first leg last week. And the long throw-in from Tavernier is going to go harmlessly behind for a Servette goal kick.
It's a different option. Dessers to the front line now. They can go a wee bit more direct.
Yeah, and it's two fresh players up there, and on a night like this when it's so hot, you're expending so much energy, you can get fresh legs on, then great. And I suppose this is where the 5-sub rule comes into great effect for these managers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you saw the impact that the Rangers substitutes had at the weekend against Livingston. Michael Beale will be hoping for similar this evening.
I thought Rabbi Matondo did well when he came on, but he's not in the squad tonight.
Yeah.
Back with the goalkeeper Mal. The misses from Lammers and Danilo in particular over the course of this tie, and the Joel Mal save from Lammers last week, which would have put Rangers 3-1 up. It would have been a much more comfortable evening here for them. Long ball from Joel Mao. Jack's underneath it with the header. Cantwell beaten to it by Ondua in the midfield. Rolls it up the left-hand side for Kutesa, but he can't find him, and that's going to be a throw into Rangers. And Servette have not been anywhere near as good in this second half as they were for the last half hour of the first.
No, that's about the 4th or 5th easy pass that's been slack and given possession back to Rangers. Rangers will absolutely lap that up.
Cifuentes can't control the midfield. Cognac nicks it off him and slips it through, looking for Bedia. Goldson's covering, rolls it back to his keeper. First time clearance from Butland. And that's going to go out of play for a throw-in on this near side to Servette, level with the edge of the centre circle. On the Servette left as they attack the goal to the left. Ticking towards 63 minutes, 1-1 on the night, 3-2 Rangers in aggregate.
There's a lack of intensity just now for Servette.
Yeah, I mean, to the point that if Rangers scored another one now, Servette could well be out of it.
Yeah.
Because they're not hitting the levels anywhere near the levels they were in that 30 minutes from 15 to 45. Although we're at that point where they started kicking on in the first half, now in the second. There's Kutesa slipping it through to Crivelli, stepping away from Cifuentes, slips it left to right at the centre circle for Vuyos. A long right football forward looking for Bedia. Bedia's chase, he's not giving it up. Goldson just left it. Bedia keeps it in play, but Goldson slides in and puts it out for a Servette throw-in on the near side. And he's got a bit of Bedia as well, because the big striker has stayed on the turf.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with him. And if I was his teammate, I'd be telling him to get up. Absolutely nothing. If anything, trods on his toe the slightest wee bit. And he's only wasting his own team's time here. Goldson was lucky though, because he initially let the ball through him. He didn't think that Bedia was going to get to the other side of him. He did.
Servette fans trying to get their team going again. Goldson wins it off Crivelli. Goldson to Cantwell. To the left of the centre circle for Nicolas Raskin. Goes across the halfway line. Short ball back to Cantwell. Then out to the left, he goes for Barisic, infield to Jack, and he goes back to John Souttar. Real calmness about the Rangers' performance just now. There's Tavernier, first time for Lammers, back to Tavernier, first time to Cantwell. Dessert ahead of him. He's got Raskin to the left, that's where it goes. He's inside the box. Look at space to shoot. He does shoot, but it's well wide. Is it taking a deflection? No, goal kick. And it stays 1-1, but there's a couple of Raskin's teammates are asking why he didn't try and find them there. 25 of the 90 left. Servette 1, Rangers 1, and 3-2 the Ibrox side lead on the aggregate scoreline.
It was excellent build-up play again from Rangers. Really good, crisp passing. I think when it goes to Raskin, he's thinking to himself, this is the exact same position that Kutesa whipped that one in the top corner from. He fancied a slice himself, but he didn't bring it in enough, caught it far too straight. Good couple of metres by the post.
Rios takes a throw in for Servette on the far side, back to Rouillet, and then to his goalkeeper. Servette looking to reach the group stage of a European competition for the first time. As Rangers pick up with Cifuentes, into the box he goes, looking for Dessert. It's cut out by Rouillet. Cifuentes will pick up the scraps on this near side though. He back heels it off Rouillet and out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Tavernier throws it back to Jack. Jack infield to Cantwell. He's kind of sprung to life recently, Todd Cantwell. Here's Barisic, down the left he goes. Trademark run from Barisic, he's at the byline. Comes back the way. Guimeno kind of stumbled and that gave Barisic some more space. Raskin for Cantwell. Now Dessert inside the box. To Cantwell, he was down. Ball taken cleanly, says the Italian referee. Here comes Servette in the counter. Kutesa wide on the left, getting it from Cognac. Kutesa now driving at Goldson. He's managed to pop it through for Crivelli. His control lets him down though. Big French striker under pressure from Souttar. He's out by the corner flag over on the far side. Crivelli, his touch is better. Rangers could have been in trouble there.
Yeah.
Crivelli works the 1-2 with Guimeno. Moves it back to Vuyos. And then to Rouillet, back on the halfway line. He's under pressure. Dessert. That comes back to the goalkeeper Mal, who clips it out to this left-hand side. picked up by Mazikou. We're going to make a change in a minute. Our Servette, the Senegalese Diba Lele Samba, who came on last week, is the man who's going to come on around about the same time, I think, as he did in the first leg. He's on this near side for Servette, up the line for Cognac, the Rangers half, the midway point of it now. On the left, Kitesa for support, decides to do it himself. Down the left-hand side, gets his cross in. Takes a little nick, I think, off either Jack or Tavernier, and that helped it on its way to Jack Butland, who claims on the 6-yard line. But in the final quarter of the second leg, at least of the 90 minutes, it's Servette 1, Rangers 1 on the night, and 3-2 Rangers continue to lead on aggregate.
Yeah, what a turnaround from when they went in at half-time, when they were very much under the cosh. They've dominated this second half.
Well, Rangers, they were right bang up against the ropes, bunched in on the rail as Servette pick up a throw-in down on this near side. They try and find a way to square this tie again. Throw-in down the line from Mazikou. Rangers win it back. Here's Cantwell, pushed to the ground by Ondua. No free kick.
I think Zoe tried to buy it. He throws himself to the ground.
Throw-in only for Servette.
It's good refereeing.
Crivelli with the flick header, looking for Bedia behind him. It's clear by Rangers though, picked up by Lammers. Good footwork there. Now Tavernier, Cifuentes can't control it. Crivelli does, and Crivelli now on the charge, moving in field. Tavernier picks his pocket though, wins it back, and James Tavernier strides into the Servette half, driving forward, looking for Raskin. It's another poor ball. Raskin struggling to keep it in play. Good strong play from Nicolas Raskin. He's won the free kick as well. He's actually given the pass from Tavernier. He's actually done really well
really
out the far side to win the free kick.
He's done ever so well. Tavernier is a really slack ball from him. He ends up in a foot race. He wins the physical challenge and then buys the free kick. Gets Rangers another 20 yards up the pitch. Brilliant from Raskin.
So a yellow card was issued there to one of the Servette players. I think it was it Guimeno who was booked there? I think it was. Here in Geneva, under the floodlights now, in the baking heat in Switzerland. Rangers free kick. It's about level with the edge of the D of the Servette box. Diba will come on now for Ondua. They're going to make a double change actually. They're going to also bring on Miroslav Stevanovic, who's one of their most important players. He was their top scorer last season. They finished runners-up to Young Boys in the Swiss top flight. On comes Diba. And Stevanovic, who missed the first leg through injury, comes on to a hero's welcome.
Wasn't half.
It's the roar of expectancy.
That's a reaction, that is.
Stevanovic, the Bosnia international. And he comes on. It's just the second appearance of the season. He's missed the last few weeks. In comes the free kick from Tavernier. It's Bedia who gets it away. Now Stevanovic is on it. First touch of the ball as he comes across halfway, knocking it through, looking for Guimeno, but Butland will get onto the overhead pass and hold on to it. 19 minutes to play. Servette 1, Rangers 1. With these changes being made, the fresh legs on for Servette, one of their best players coming on. This is an important period for Rangers if they can weather it.
Yeah, you're expecting a big push from this Servette side these last 20 minutes. You can feel the energy in the crowds going up again inside the stadium. Rangers just need to manage that.
It was 3-2 in aggregate last year, and at this stage for Rangers against the Belgians, Union Saint-Gilloise. 2-0 down after the first leg in Belgium. They turned it round on a memorable night at Ibrox. There were a few of them in the last few years in continental competition. Kitesa was the other player to come off, incidentally, as Lammers picks up, moves it wide right to Tavernier, level with the Servette penalty spot. Back to Cantwell. Can Rangers find a second goal in the night that would surely take them through? You would think. Ryan Jack has it. Rolls it out to Barisic. There are 4 in Rangers colours in and around the box. Here's Raskin. Gets the ball. It's a good one! Dessert heads over. I think he's claiming this was saved.
Not so sure.
Goal kick. It's another chance for Rangers though. And Cyril Dessert just got under it. He's not caught it properly, but I think the keeper has touched it going by the replay, to be fair to him.
Well, the ball in from Raskin is absolutely delightful. I would have loved that header. It was difficult though because he's kind of almost behind, having to kind of arc his body in a strange motion to get the header. Even still, all that said, I think he should still hit the target. What a ball in from Raskin.
Great chance. Tesser got the second goal in the first leg last week that gave Rangers a lead coming into this second leg. It's Crivelli back inside the Rangers half. They've effectively got a front four now, Servette. They've got Guimeno up there with Crivelli, Bedia and Stevanovic now. So they're going for it.
Yeah, but they're going to leave themselves open to the counter. They're going to need to watch that. Rangers could capitalise, but they've got to go for it.
Long ball from the goalkeeper, Barisic with a header into the midfield. Bedia picks it up. Support from Cognac, but the Rangers ransack him in the midfield. Cifuentes rolls it to the right of the centre circle for Cantwell. He gets it horribly wrong, and now an opportunity for Mazikou. Out to the left for Guimeno, fouled by Tavernier. Free kick Servette, they've taken it quickly to try and catch Rangers out here, and it all breaks down. And given they had an opportunity to swing the ball into the Rangers box, the visitors will be quite happy with what they did there when they took the quick free kick, and it broke down for them.
It's never a free kick in the first place.
Servette have it wide the left. Mazikou's cross ball in, cleared by Jack, but there's a foul on Tavernier at the edge of his own box. And that's going to be a free kick to Rangers, and that just takes the sting out of things. Almost on 74, Servette 1, Rangers 1, and 3-2 Rangers lead in aggregate.
Yeah, you get the feeling there's going to be some nervy moments in the next 20 minutes or so, Liam. Rangers have just got to ride the storm, see it out.
It's going to be a nail-biting final 15-16 minutes for the Rangers supporters to try and get back into the groups in this competition. Going to make up for last season's brutal campaign. It was a difficult group, to be fair to them, but some unwanted records in the Champions League last term. Where's Cantwell? Gets it back from Lammers. Dessert waits for it in the middle. Cantwell's ball in, cleared by Rouillet though. Cifuentes. Can I feel there's another goal for Rangers in this? Cantwell chips it towards Lammers inside the box. Lammers trying to win it back, and he's done just that. He's on the deck trying to flick it past the defender. No free kick, but he's given it away. Dreadful ball. Here's Cantwell with the outside of the boot. He puts the cross in. Too much on it for Dessert, who chases it out to the corner flag on the far side to try and keep it in play, and then eventually loses out two defenders there. Gang up on him, and it's actually a foul against Dessert. Quick free kick by Servette. We're on 75 minutes in Geneva. Rangers getting ever closer to a place in the playoff, and even that will bring a pretty sizable payment from UEFA. The losers of this tie tonight drop straight into the Europa League groups. No need for a playoff in that competition. Same will be said for the losers in the playoff. Servette have it. It's Rouillet midway inside his own half. He's playing it short to his left for Diba. Out it comes to Mazikou on this near side. Challenge from Cifuentes. I think the free kick's been given there for a push by Cifuentes on
soft
opponent down here, Mazikou.
I think he bought it a wee bit. Yeah, he just throws himself.
They're going to take Boubacar Fofana on, who started the first leg last week. Another forward. The proverbial kitchen sink being thrown at this. Anthony Barron's going to come on as well. Play at full-back or in midfield. Cognac's free kick into the box. A header from Rouillet, and Butland holds on to flop down onto it. To Jack Butland. And I think the whistle's gone for something or other inside the box. Rangers have a free kick. And now the changes, now the changes for Servette. And off comes Guimeno, on comes Fofana. And the other player to come off for Servette will be Mazikou. And he's replaced by Barron, so he'll go to left back. He started the league game against St. Gallen at the weekend. There's the Servette number 6. So, Rangers, the supporters, Michael Beale down below us, just steadying themselves for the final 13 minutes of this second leg. Butland clips it out to this near side. It's a poor ball from him though, and that just gives Servette a little bit of encouragement. It's going to be a throw-in run about the halfway line for the hosts. A few more Rangers subs out, warming up down below us. Comes to Cognac and he knocks it back to Rouillet. Servette have dealt in some amount of drama in their Champions League campaign thus far. Long ball forward, comes all the way through to Jack Butland. Rangers just need to keep a clean sheet and they are through from this point. Tessa gives Servette the lead in the first half. Rangers lived a charmed life for spells in that opening 45 minutes. Servette missed two gilt-edged opportunities as much as Rangers had a superb chance themselves through Danilo, who inexplicably put it over the bar with the goal gaping. Goes out for a throw-in off Rouillet on this near side. Throw-in for Rangers, and again that just wastes away a few seconds as the crowd is announced as 26,000. This place can hold 30. They did say it was a sellout, but there's a big bit cordoned off for security reasons off to our right, and I think at the front of the stands as well.
Yeah.
Tavernier bowls it onto the chest of Dessar. There's Cantwell back to Dessar. Oh, he hits the post. Cantwell on the rebound, can't finish. Flag stayed down as well. Cyril Dessar width of the post away from potentially sending Rangers through to the playoff. It stays 1-1 on the night and 3-2 Rangers on aggregate.
It's another huge chance. The angle's difficult for him, but he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper at the edge of the 6-yard box. Puts it to the goalkeeper's right. I don't know whether the goalkeeper got a tiny retouch on it or not, off the inside of the post.
Cantwell throws himself to the ground between two Servette defenders.
Yeah, Tom Daly stuff that.
He didn't appeal for anything, but perhaps he realised that he's clearly not going to outfox the officials for that one. And it's going to be a goal kick for Joel Mal to take, right-footed, out to that far side it goes. It was out of play for a Rangers throw-in.
What a chance. You think about that chance and then the Danilo chance for Rangers, two new strikers. Big moments for both of them.
It's been 4 huge opportunities in the game today, 2 for both teams that they haven't taken. It's into the midfield with Cantwell, just flicks it back out wide left for Barisic down the line. He gets it back, Cantwell pokes it to Dessar. Now it's with Cifuentes, he finds Cantwell out wide left. Rangers have it with Barisic, steadies himself, disguises it, low ball, Cifuentes on the turn to the byline, he goes and he'll win the corner of Rouillet. Good play between Barisic and Cifuentes.
Yeah, Rangers are finding a lot of space now in midfield areas because Servette are leaving these players up the pitch. They've lost control of the middle of the park and Rangers able to pick passes and find space. Cifuentes does all right there. Tavernier will just take as long as he wants with this one.
He's eventually got the ball over there. And in the final 10 of the 90.
Yeah, this will go on though. This, how many? Looking at least 8 minutes of stoppage time.
Subs, but there's not been too much in the way of VAR.
No, but you had the Goldson head knock.
Yeah.
A couple of other injuries, subs. You know what it's like.
We'll do stoppage time predictions a bit later.
All right, okay.
Tavernier with the corner, Cifuentes with the headers well wide. And that will go behind for a goal kick. John Suter was there as well. Perhaps got in each other's way. It remains at 1 apiece. Rangers getting close to the playoff. Here's Fofana for Servette. Down the left-hand side he goes. Sliding in as Cifuentes. Leaves it for Raskan. Moving up towards the halfway line. Into the Servette half he goes. It's opened up beautifully for him. Raskan through towards Dessar on the turn. Defender does enough. Dessar tries to win it back. And then it's won back in the edge of the box by Severin. He's taking it up towards halfway. Servette fans again making the noise in anticipation. As Diba in the midfield, eyeing up the Rangers box, encouraged to shoot. He does so, and Butland holds on. It's a shot on target for Servette. And he couldn't resist having a pop at goal, but it kind of bounced before it even got to Butland. That took even more.
Yeah, he kicked the
pace
ground.
out of it. Yeah.
He's going to have a sore ankle after that. Easy save for Butland in the end. Cifuentes just down. I don't know whether it's cramp or...
Yeah, it looks like it. Might be
out in that heat. I mean, the amount of fluid you're losing out on that pitch must be absolutely incredible. I've lost 7 litres sitting here doing the commentary.
I'm sure Cifuentes is used to it, to be fair.
Yeah, but you know, it's still going to hit you. You've got to take in water non-stop. You really do, every chance you get.
From Ecuador, of course, and has been playing in Los Angeles as he sits on the deck, and it might be the Rangers have to make one of their remaining changes at this point. We'll wait and see, but this will add to the stoppage time that Tomo was talking about.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's going to be quite a bit.
He's back on his feet now, taking on some water.
Thing is with cramp, once you get it, the water's coming too late. He's already there.
Yeah, he's coming off. They're going to replace him with Dujon Sterling. So no surprise there. The change is being made. Sterling got a cameo against Livingston at the weekend, so he's going to get an opportunity to try and help Rangers see this one out.
He's got an Under Armour on. Quite incredible.
Yeah, he's not needing that. Former England youth international. He was at Stoke City last season. Pretty regular there. Signed a 4-year deal at Rangers, the 23-year-old, and he replaces Cifuentes for the closing stages of this game. It's about to tick on to 84 minutes. And Servette are up the pitch here. And it's a Rangers throw. And Crivelli's getting himself into trouble there. He was lectured by the referee, sent off in the last round, second leg against Genk. Didn't do his team any favours. He was sent off in 5 minutes. And they had to play extra time, going through on penalties. They've been in tight spots before with the Swiss Super League side. Free kick meantime to Servette, and then Crivelli still having a go at the referee. And the Servette fans aren't happy because Rangers are kicking the ball away. It was Cantwell this time in an attempt to waste some time. Ronnie Rodelin is going to be on for Servette shortly. It'll be, I think, their last change. There's another forward.
Kind of many left, surely.
No. He is going to come on now, and an incredible turn of events. Bedia hasn't managed to score today. 6 goals already this season, including that penalty conversion at Ibrox last Wednesday. Bedia's off. And on comes Rodelin. And now, free kick taken by Baron into Severin, inside his own half, left of the centre circle, long ping ball. Crivelli wins the header, and it comes right through to Jack Butland, who holds on. Less than 5 of the 90 left.
Yeah, they're getting a bit desperate now. They're just pumping things kind of long up towards Crivelli. They've kind of lost their fluidity. Just all these substitutions, so many forward players on the pitch. They've actually kind of ran out of ideas on how to kind of breach that Rangers back four.
Butland fires it long out to this near side, out for a throw. It's been really scrappy the last 10-15 minutes. Probably suits Rangers, to be fair.
Totally.
Picked up by Diba, just in front of his defence. Rolls it back to Rouillet, outside his 18-yard box. Out onto that far side for Vouilloz, who goes down, bounces straight back up, under pressure from Cantwell. Still in play, eventually it does go out, and that's going to be a Rangers throw-in. It's good battling by Todd Cantwell.
Yeah, he showed good strength there. Wastes another 20-30 seconds.
As it stands, it will be Rangers against PSV Eindhoven. And as was the case last season, the first leg would be in Glasgow. Second leg in the Netherlands. 3-1 PSV. Rubber stamp in their place in the playoffs. A lot more comfortable than Rangers are right now. It's a 7-2 in aggregate now. On the Dutch side. Servette giving away straight to Raskan. Just flicks it with the outside of the boot for Dessert. Out wide right for Tavernier. to Cantwell, to Tavernier, back it comes to Sterling. He goes back to Butland. Butland just outside his box, smashes it forward, it's low and it's given it straight to Cognac. Butland gets back into position, Raskin does brilliantly to pinch it back off Diba, who thought he was going to have some pitch to operate in there towards the Rangers box.
Raskin's energy levels have been phenomenal tonight. They really have. What a shift he's put in.
On a night like this and a tie like this, you need a player the position that Raskin plays in to have a night like that,
Yeah,
though, don't you?
He's been everywhere. He's been excellent. He really has.
A bit of a buzz bomb in the Rangers midfield. Lammers, sounded like a foul by Lammers, it was. It's going to be a free kick to Servette, level with the edge of the centre circle inside their own half, over on the far side.
Ungainly from Lammers there. Sometimes looks a wee bit like that. Well, that's good coming from me.
I think there's going to be something like 5 or 6 minutes added.
Is this an estimation, or
Yeah.
do you know?
No, I don't know.
I'm going for 8 or 9.
Okay. 88 on the clock. Back there by Baron. Now it's Severine. Rangers have another player down over on the far side. I think it is the aforementioned Raskin. It's all catching up with him. Here's Cognac for Servette. They've left it late plenty this season in their matches, the Swiss team, and Cognac got there, still in play, gets across the face of goal it goes. To the back post, Crivelli can't get onto it, and it goes behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, I thought Tavernier put it out, but maybe it had already gone out of play, similar to the one in the first half. You can hear the fans think it should have been a corner.
Cognac's talked himself into the referee's book as well there. You know, a bit of dissent at the assistant. And the Servette number 8, that is the picture, the very picture of frustration down there. We're in minute 90.
Well, I mean, the long and short of it is they haven't done enough in this second half. Rangers have been the better team in this second half. Servette, for how good they were in the last 20 minutes of the first half, haven't really shown up in this second half.
1-1, 3-2 Rangers in aggregate. Cantwell to Tavernier, forward towards Lammers, going past him though, right through to Joel Mao. The fourth official's got the board in his hand. We'll find out what the stoppage time's going to be in about 20 odd seconds. Raskin can't keep it in play on the far side, so Servette throw-in. What do Servette have left? The ball is flicked to Severine, out wide left to Baron, and the Servette fans have come together as one to try and get them back on level terms and force extra time.
What a noise in the stadium.
7 minutes added.
Oh, I think that was closer then, was it?
Call it a draw. Crivelli to the edge of the box, it's away by Goldson. Knocks it clear. A draw is fine for Rangers tonight. Baron with the cross ball comes in, and Goldson is caught by Crivelli. He tried to attack it. I think Goldson got there first, and it's going to be a Servette corner.
Should have been a foul. I mean,
that's what Goldson's asking.
It was so late into the back of Goldson there.
In comes the cross from Baron. It's a good one, just too high for Crivelli. Goldson's gone down again, claiming he was fouled. The cross comes in from the right-hand side of the box this time and beats everyone. Goes out to the corner flag. Baron wins another corner off Cantwell and proceeds to wave his arms frantically at the Servette supporters.
Big moments for these Rangers. Big moments. Got to defend your box.
The first minute of the 7 has been played. Servette have another corner, in it comes, flicked half away into the 6-yard box it goes, and Butland gets down at the feet of Diba to smother it and hold on for dear life. Servette 1, Rangers 1, and 3-2 Rangers lead in aggregate.
Just didn't know where that was going to fall there. The corner comes back in at the back post, bounces about, and Butland's really sharp out onto it to snuff out the danger.
I suspect there's going to be a couple of nervy moments like that for the Rangers supporters between now and the final whistle. Long ball though for Dessert. Lammers is waiting, might drop to Lammers. Dessert tries to get back onto it, the defender put in the challenge. Lammers loses out to Diba. And it's over on that right hand side for Servette as they win a throw-in off Ryan Jack. But it's these tests you have to come through if you want to dine at the top table, as Rangers do. I'm going to join Celtic in the group stage of the Champions League. Remember, Hearts and Hibs to come on Thursday against Rosenborg and Luzern respectively. Hearts behind 2-1, Hibs leading 3-1 in the Conference League qualifiers. Lammers pinching it off Diba. He's on his own at the moment. Dessers trying to get up in support to his left. Lammers shoots, it's deflected, and the goalkeeper has to make the save. Mal denies Lammers as he did spectacularly at Ibrox last week. Long clearance, Sterling with the chest into the path of Ryan Jack. Rangers perhaps will they try and run the clock down here, down into the corner. 2.5 of the 7 have been played. It's with Jack, level with the penalty spot, to Lammers, to Cantwell, and back out to Jack on the near side. Cantwell getting onto it, goes to ground, no free kick.
Stop doing that.
No free kick down by the corner flag. Servette clear, Crivelli's header, back into his own half. Stevanovic turns it out wide right, here for Vujoz. Vujoz on the ball. He played 3 minutes of 7 that were added by the Italian referee. Long switch for Fofana, is headed out for a throw-in by Tavernier. Barron infield to Cognac. Back to Barron, infield for Diba. Switches it out wide right for Vujoz. Infield for Rouillet. Servette trying to force extra time. Needed extra time and penalties to get past Genk in the last round. Cognac's run ended by Sterling, who puts it out for a throw-in to the hosts on this near side. Level with the Rangers 6-yard line. Fofana out to Barron on the touchline. Level with the 18-yard line of Rangers. It's with Cognac rolling it infield. A little chip ball into the box. Crivelli was there, but he misses it. Breaks Stevanović's way, wide on the right. In comes the cross, takes a deflection, and it's headed over by Diva. And it stays Servette 1, Rangers 1 on the night, and 3-2 on aggregate to the Scottish side.
That was a heart and mouth moment for Rangers. It really was. The first one that comes in, Crivelli's got to do better, but as it's recycled out from the right hand side back into the box, he's really got to do better with his header. Gets right underneath it. The deflection takes it over Goldson, 7-8 yards out. Got to hit the target.
There's just under 3 minutes of the injury time or stoppage time left. Rangers have got Kieran Dowell ready to come on at some point as Butland batters the ball away. Flicked on by Lammers. Dessers gives chase. Severin rolls it back to his keeper. Mao goes long. Suter up there with Crivelli. Suter wins that particular joust. Gets onto it for the second time of asking up against Stevanovic as well. Leaves it for Jack, and Barisic clears. Rouillet into the Rangers half. Met by Suter and out of play for a throw-in to Servette over on that far side. That's 5 minutes of the 7 come and gone. Todd Cantwell will be replaced by Kieran Dowell now as Rangers make their change. The referee eventually spotted it. The goalkeeper released it, but the board was up, so the sub will happen now. Servette not happy with that. Cognac's having a go at the ref. He'll watch what he's doing because he was booked not too long ago. Cantwell comes off. Rangers nearly there. There'll be time added on top of the stoppage time though because of this sub. A minute and a half left of the 7. One apiece. Enough to take Rangers into the playoffs. Crivelli controlling. Trying to shift it back to Cognac. There for Dowell, who finds Jack now. Through to Raskan. A bundle of energy tonight. Brilliant running from him as well. Digs it out to Dowell on this right-hand side. Level with the penalty spot at Servette. He decides to take it out towards the corner flag. A sensible decision. And I think he's fouled it as well, was he?
Yeah.
Free kick Rangers on this near side down by the corner flag, and that is exactly what they wanted at this stage.
It's 100% what they wanted. It was clever play from Dowell because he could have put the ball into the box, but just tries to take it into the corner. No doubt it's a foul into the back of his thigh.
Yeah, Rodland.
Just keep the ball down there now.
Well, the allotted stoppage time has got 35 seconds left. There will be time added on, you would imagine, for the Dowell sub. Rangers free kick here. The referee's putting the magic spray down there in the one-man Servette wall, but surely this isn't going anywhere near the box.
No chance.
Dowell with it, just shifts it to Lammers then. Rangers seconds away from the playoff, and they have the ball exactly where they want it at this stage. The Servette have pinched it back. Fofana. Through it comes though to Goldson, who's able to clear in about the halfway line. And that's going to drop out for a goal kick. 7 minutes have come and gone. All eyes on the Italian ref. Added time and added time. Rangers 3-2 up in aggregate. It's a slim lead. But it is enough as Jack clears. Dessers gives chase. Out comes the goalkeeper who heads it out to this near side. Flag's gone up for offside in any case. The referee blows the full-time whistle. Rangers are through to the Champions League playoff for the second successive season. Kind of backs to the wall at times tonight, but a much improved second half performance sees them through here in Geneva. They had to come through adversity, they had to react to going behind on the night on 23 minutes. A wonderful finish from Derek Utesa, who bent it into the top right corner. It's a fabulous goal. And the Rangers defence was battered at that point. Attacks raining down on them. Somehow, with two sitters missed by Servette and one from Danilo up the other end as well, they got to half-time just 1-0 down, and it was 2-2 on aggregate. But they were much better in the second half. 6 minutes into it, Barisic found his opposing fullback and captain Tavernier, who headed home to make it 1-1. And Rangers had some real periods of control after that. There was a few nervy moments inside their box towards the end there, including in the 7 minutes of stoppage time. But they got there in the end. They've got through to the playoff where they will meet PSV Eindhoven for the second straight season. They beat them 3-2 in aggregate to get into the groups last term. They're going to have to do the job on the Dutch team, who'll no doubt be out for revenge as well. But you've got to be in it to win it, and Rangers are very much in it. The it being the UEFA Champions League playoffs, as Michael Beale beats his chest there as he goes to greet the Rangers supporters. 2,000 of them here in Switzerland tonight. It finished then without the need for any extra time or penalties. Servette 1, Rangers 1, and 3-2 Rangers win to go through to the playoffs on aggregate.
Rangers